DC jail reportedly refuses to release some J6 defendants. What's going on? 2 convicted brothers were the only ones released from the jail. Some J6 defendants were reportedly not released from a Washington, D.C. jail on Monday night following President Trump's sweeping executive order offering full pardons, dismissals, or commutations to nearly all defendants. White House liaison showed up at the jail late Monday and said 2 brothers, Andrew Valentine and Matthew Valentine, had been released per Trump's order. However, people gathered outside the jail and said that there were other defendants still inside. Here's a tweet from Ford Fisher. In a somewhat bizarre scene just now, a person saying he's a liaison from the White House came to the D.C. jail and announced that the January 6th pardon releases here occurred, but only 2 people came out. Confusing situation as dozens more presumably inside. Oh.
Where are they now?
Very soon.
Whoa! Can you identify yourself?
My name is Paul Grassi. I'm the White House liaison to the Justice Department. And we're here with Chris and Justin, also at the White House. Many people within the administration, know about this. Elon Musk knew a lot about this and was mastermind behind it. So, the first 2 are released. This injustice is ending in America tonight, and this dark chapter of our country is
Oh my God.
coming to an end.
He's you know what? They're like, project. Where's your megaphone?
When will the rest be released? When will the rest be released? When all January 6th persons be out?
Mike over Mike.
These are the only 2 I'm aware of at this prison behind me.
Nobody
Can you repeat the names of the defendants? Their names are Matthew Valentine and Andrew Valentine.
Oh, can you repeat your name, please?
My name is Paul Grassi.
Can you spell your last name?
Ingrassi. That's really all the information I have.
We can't hear you!
I don't have a microphone. I'm sorry. This is all I have.
Shout it out! Shout it out!
Tonight!
Thank you, President
Wow.
This is after President Trump signed his pardon today. It's official. They are released. They have released. They have left.
There are other
How
defendants
many?
in there. What?
You said 2 people?
Wait, there are other January 6th defendants in there. What happens to them?
What you said.
If they're released, why aren't they out here? If they're released, why aren't they out here? When are they coming out? If they're released, why aren't they out here? They're free citizens. When are they coming out?
They've already left. They already left.
You said they're already gone.
They're not here. They're gone.
The 2 that they were talking about. Interesting. A possible explanation was posted on X by Woosa9 investigative reporter Jordan Fisher. Basically, Trump's order gave full pardons to almost everyone convicted of J6 related crimes. However, if someone is in jail and still awaiting trial, their case per the order will be dismissed. The dismissal of such cases could take longer to process, according to Fisher. Trump's order pardoned people convicted of crimes related to January 6th. Defendants still awaiting trial or sentencing, the vast majority at the jail, have not been pardoned, he wrote. Trump ordered their cases dismissed. That's not going to happen at 11 p.m. on a federal holiday. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. The confusion is understandable, Fisher added. Pardoning is something the president can do by fiat. Dismissing a federal case requires a U.S. attorney to file a motion with the presiding judge, who then must grant the motion and order the defendant's release. The explanation might follow with some of the defendants still awaiting trial, but numerous reports online say convicted J6 defendants' release are still being delayed too. Here's the language from Trump's executive order about such cases. I further direct the Attorney General to pursue dismissal with prejudice to the government of all pending indictments against individuals for their conduct related to the events at or near the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. The Bureau of Prisons shall immediately implement all instructions from the Department of Justice regarding this directive. Utah Senator Mike Lee, though, has excoriated the D.C. jail for not releasing all defendants immediately. Lee said he's working to verify why the delay is happening, said D.C.'s home rule should be repealed. Last night, from what we can tell, after Trump issued a pardon for a number of prisoners involved with January 6th. There were only 2 released last night. Lee said, I spoke to someone last night who had gone down personally to the D.C. jail, saw that only 2 of them had been released, and jail officials at the D.C. jail announced they wouldn't be releasing any more last night. Now, this is not hard, Glenn. Lee continued. They have names and they have pardons. They can identify those prisoners who have been pardoned. Trump's directive was that they were to be released immediately, as one should when one sees that somebody has been pardoned, yet they still weren't out. We're still trying to get names, numbers, and verify how this is happening, Lee added, but from what we can tell, they haven't complied with it yet. Oh, here's a little video from Glenn Beck.
So I wanted to ask you, you tweeted something last night. Is DC ignoring Trump's pardons? If it is, then this is definitely a time to repeal DC home rule. You had me at the word repeal. DC's government has no right to exist constitutionally. Congress shouldn't have delegated its lawmaking authority over DC. It's time to take it back. I love you. Okay, tell me what this means.
What this means is that Congress needs to do its job. We've had a problem for a long time with Congress delegating its lawmaking power to unelected, unaccountable bureaucrats. We've got a corresponding problem in that we're supposed to be the lawmaker for the District of Columbia. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, sometimes known as the Enclave Clause, gives us that power. We've been delegating that to the D.C. government for about a half century. The results have been disastrous. The results have been a government that doesn't serve the interests of the people well. It's a radical leftist regime that runs it. Their schools are failing. Crime rates are soaring. And last night, from what we can tell, after Trump issued a pardon for a number of prisoners involved with January 6th, there were only 2 released last night. And I spoke to someone last night who had gone down personally to the D.C. jail, saw that only 2 of them had been released, and jail officials at the D.C. jail announced that they wouldn't be releasing any more last night. Now, this is not hard, Glenn. They have names and they have pardons. They can identify those prisoners who have been pardoned. Trump's directive was that they were to be released immediately, as one should when one sees that somebody's been pardoned, and they still weren't out. So we're still trying to get names, numbers, and verify that this is how this is happening. But from what we can tell, they haven't complied with it yet. It's yet another reason to revisit DC's home rule, which I think should be repealed.
That's extraordinary that they would be that bold and say, because everybody was watching them last night. He was watching CNN last night, and they had, people stationed out there, and they were just complaining that, criminals that had killed police officers on January 6th were just being released. You're saying that there's only 2 that were released last night and only nothing yet this morning that you know of?
That's right. That's right. My former staffer, Sean Peterson, was down at the D.C. jail, and he said that they released 2 of them through a back door, and then a jail official said, we're not releasing any more tonight, even though there were apparently many more to be released. Now, again, Sean, Glenn, these are people who have been pardoned, and this is a government that has done things like this for a long time. I've got story after story of horrible things they've done. D.C. allows non-citizen voting in their local elections. You know how difficult that can be to disentangle the people who are casting votes in local elections from those who are voting in true federal elections. That is a problem in and of itself. You've also got the fact that they've just, time after time, they've taken positions that harm the people of D.C., make everything more expensive. These guys have high tax rates. They spend like crazy.
Oh, this is an interesting comment from Isabella. American Legend, I've been in jail, not prison, but if they release 2, they should all be released. And for every hour they are kept, they should be able to sue. Ooh. Very interesting. Prison bureaucracy is notoriously slow. Yikes. Yeah, I like this comment. Biden's family can be pre-pardoned when they aren't even charged with anything, but this is happening to the J6ers.
In education, yet they've got one of the most failing school systems in the entire country. You want to know something interesting? 4 years ago, an elite unit from the Utah National Guard was out here in D.C., protecting D.C., protecting the White House from the violence that was erupting in the summer of 2020 in this city. In the middle of the night, after they'd gone through like a 36-hour shift, none of these guys had slept in 36 hours. They had worked all night and all day the next day. And they were evicted by the office of the mayor of the D.C. government. These are the kind of people these are. And they've been begging for a repeal of D.C.'s home rule for a long time. We need it now.
Oh, interesting. They will claim understaffing to be unable to process, and they will say for weeks unless you force their hand to release them. This is why Biden pardoned the January 6th committee, so they can't be sued by the people. I also heard that they destroyed evidence. How is that legal? Every second when someone is pardoned, every second they are in jail is a theft of a free person's liberty. Damn. It's hardcore.
They've been begging for it by the terrible things they do.
Woo! Thank you, Glenn Beck. Okay. Wow. I will have to follow up about that. That's very interesting. Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.